तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ There is a question we have from Anita Bhavani. What is non-utilitarian? If the law of causation is consequences of action, what is the meaning of not to look for fruit of action? First one, what is non-utilitarian? What is the meaning of non-utilitarian attitude? Utilitarian attitude and non-utilitarian attitude. Utilitarian is synonymous with mind. Wherever there is mind, it will start looking for utility. Utility means what? What is the use of it? Because in the world, whatever we have been transacting with, we transact with the utility. Isn't it? Everything has a utility. Everything in the world has a use. The pin has a use. Isn't it? Such a small, tiny, insignificant one. A thorn has a use. It helps to remove. So everything that we see in the world has a utility. So, since this is the understanding of the mind, when it comes to religion, here also it transports the same idea. It says, okay, now what is the utility of God? If you carefully search, strictly inquire, God has no utility value. You see, what is the use of God? You can't say God will grant me peace. God will forgive me. Now we ask a question: why He has to forgive you first of all? What is the connection? God will give me solace. God will give me peace. These are all more of our belief, rather than there is no established use that you can think of for God. You see, so the mind which is used to transact purely based on utility is to be turned to religion. When it comes to this dimension, it has to switch off and switch on to something else. Right? Now the problem is, we do not do that. Therefore, we start superimposing utilities. We start projecting utilities. We start imagining certain utilities of God. And we have given a specific job for God. What is His job? Job portfolio. Give no. Same way we have given, all of us have given a specific job portfolio for God. What is it? He is supposed to protect us. He is supposed to grant all our wishes. He is supposed to be giving us all good, all nice things of life He should be granting. This is the job of God as far as we are concerned. Unfortunately, the truth of life is, the fact of life is, there is no utility. If you understand that, you will do what? You should do what? Strictly speaking, exit from the class. You say, we thought he will give some views. Okay, if not for my business success, at least he will give me peace. At least give me some security. At least he will ensure that I will go to heaven. Something he should do, no, in life. The law of karma, law of causation says, point blank, it says, there is no use. Still, will you be pursuing God? That is the question. Still, will you be interested in that God? God who has no utility. Straight away, all your inspiration to God will deflate. The whole thing goes off. After that, it is, vehicle will not move. Just stay. That's all. Is that what is that non-utilitarian? Non-utilitarian is that ability to pursue something in life without asking, without searching, without looking, without expecting a guarantee of utility. Now, there is no utility here. What is the use? There is no use. This is the meaning of Duryodhana and Arjuna. Both approached Krishna to support them for the Kurukshetra war. Both of them approached Krishna. Krishna said, see, both are my relatives. Right? Now, I can't do favor to one and not to the other. So, I will do one thing. What? I will keep my entire army one side. One battalion, one Akshavani of Yadava army, one side, fully armed. They are invincible. Army on one side. On the other side, I stand without taking up arms. I will not fight. It's not that I will stand this side and fight. No. I will stand this side, I will not fight. You make a choice. Now, what is the agenda? Common sense thinking. Agenda is, we want a fellow to come in to fight the battle. We approached Krishna to support us for the fight. It is like saying, sir, there is voting going to be happening. Will you come and vote in my favor? Nah, I will come for the voting, but I will not vote. I will sit there as a witness. Who will be interested in that person? For a battlefield, you need a fellow to take up arm and fight. Right? At that point of time, Krishna is not even giving the promise that he will play the position of an advisory. I will advise that. Those things and all he is not saying. Right? He only says, I will come. Duryodhana chose the army. Arjuna chose Krishna. What is it? Utilitarian and non-utilitarian. Picasso, asks a fantastic question. Picasso is a great painter. He paints and he never encourages any one who appreciates painting. He doesn't like those people. Because he says, Everyone who comes and sees my painting asks me, what is the meaning of that? What is the meaning of it? He says, it's painting, that's it. You just see that, enjoy that and walk out. Why do you want to interpret the painting? Now, why do you want to interpret it? You wanted to give a meaning to it. Nobody goes to the rose and asks, why are you giving fragrance? See, there is no one around you. When there is no one around you, you flower and spread the fragrance. Huh? You are wasting. You just wait. The gardener is coming. He's on the way. Today got little delayed. So he's coming on the way. After he comes, if you flower and give fragrance, he will be so happy, no? You are very ungrateful that you are flowering and spreading the fragrance without the gardener. Hold it. You cannot do that, no? The nature of flower is to bloom and spread fragrance. Doesn't matter. There is no utility it asks for. What is the use of that fragrance? It doesn't think of all those things. It just spreads it. Now we go everywhere. Utility. What's the use of? What's the use of? What's the use of? I don't want this to be used by somebody else. This is an interesting Buddhist story. It seems in one of the monasteries, they had many Buddha idols. And everyone who comes and joins there, they will be allotted one Buddha idol. Hey, that's your idol, okay? This is one idol. So one lady, she was allotted one Buddha. And she got so attached to that Buddha idol. Now, one day she brought agarbatti for Buddha. And suddenly she realized, because of the wind, the agarbatti fragrance, the smoke is moving to the another Buddha idol, neighbor idol. He said, how can, see, this fragrance should be given only to my Buddha, not to other Buddhas. So she created a fence with the sari around that idol. And she was so happy that now all the fragrance is only for my Buddha. It's not escaping, and it's not going to other Buddhas. Nobody else is getting it, only my Buddha getting it. He came back in the evening. He saw that Buddha had turned black. Whole idol is turned completely black now. There's the smoke. Almost caught fire. It's a wooden one. Idol. This is called utilitarian. Opposite of this is non-utilitarian. The capacity in a human to function. In fact, only humans function with the utility. Eyeing on the utility alone, you can perform action. That is called utilitarian mind. It's another beautiful coinage of Osho. He is the one who calls it as utilitarian mind. Utility tag, saval. It is constantly interested. In the language of Cardinal Newman, it is known as saval. Each one uses one word, that's all. But essentially what they mean is, unless you guarantee me a result, and that result has to be palatable, agreeable, according to my terms, as I decide. On today, the moment my agreement or my wish changes, accordingly the utility also should change. The result also should change. The fruit also should change. Law of karma comes in and says it doesn't work like that. Life is not going to be moving according to your whims and fancies. Is what is referred as philosophically non-utilitarian mind. Utilitarian attitude, non-utilitarian now, where you pursue something without any guarantee of the usefulness of it. Usefulness of that with reference to what? All utilities can be only with reference to what is the use of it to my body, what is the use of it to my wealth, what is the use of it to my relationships, to my emotions, to my ideas and ideologies. That's all. To my philosophy. Is it fitting into my philosophy or not? If it is useful, you take. If it is not useful, you reject. Without evaluating what is the value of that independently. Independently, we never take anything on their face value. It is always what? Values keeps changing based on this. That is why we say you can't afford to have the utilitarian attitude, because your utilities keeps changing. Morning you want one thing, evening you want another thing. Isn't it? Monday morning you want something else, Tuesday morning you want something else. Right? And one cancels the other. One negates the other. One conflicts the other, one contradicts the other. Utilitarian means contradicting, conflicting desires. Non-utilitarian means there is a congruent ideal. There is only one thing that you can pursue without any utility attached to it. That is God. Anything other than God, anything other than self or Brahman or realization, whatever you call it, all that will have a utility. Some use is there for that. So non-utilitarian means this. Then he is asking, if the law of causation is consequence of action, what is the meaning of not to look for fruit of action? See, law of causation says cause will produce an effect. That's all. Right? Not to look for fruit of action means you don't look for a specific fruit. That's the meaning of it. That is called utilitarian attitude. I keep that cause, but I want that specific only has to come out of it. You cannot say, it's like, I'll give of course it could look like an absurd example. I plant a seed and I specifically design the tree should come out exactly like that I have drawn. Because I am the one who planted the seed, I am the one who plowed the field, I am the one who is watering it, I am the one who is putting manure for that, I am the one who is protecting it. All that I am doing it. Therefore, the tree has to come in the form that I have designed already. I have conceived. That is not possible. A tree will come. You plant a seed, a tree will come. But in what shape, with how many fruits, and all, you can't be deciding. See, you deciding that and asking that seed to produce that is what is known as looking for fruit of action. But however, the principle is what? You perform action, it will produce a result. Cause, effect. Action will have a consequence. You can never have an action without a consequence. Law states only this much. Law of karma is not saying anything more than that. And then we derive so many things out of it. So many derivations are there. We will see that. As we go along, we will see how many things we will derive out of that one simple statement. See, cause will produce effect. That's it. Consequences will be there. Since you are the one who have executed the action, consequences also has to be met out by you. But then, if the law of causation is with reference to consequences of action, you have to define what is action. What are all the things that goes along with action? Right? Only then you can understand the consequences. If you are not having a clarity with reference to what all goes with action, that defines your action, that constitutes your action, you can never define what constitutes the consequences. Because as the cause, so the effect. Right? You plant a mango seed, you get mango tree. But sir, I want a mango tree which should be producing 250 fruits. That you can't fix. That's all it says. Utilitarian means it says what? I want 250 mangoes. Okay. So I have heard mango tree will give, mango seed will give mango tree will produce mangoes for me. Therefore I am planting a mango tree, a seed, and it should be giving me what? 250. You will never get 250. You may get 260, you may get 240. But it will never be 250. So, what you expect, what you want, what you have decided should be the consequence, will not be the consequence. That doesn't mean there is no consequence. This is where the problem is. That is why we are studying the chapter, Law of Causation. There are three most difficult chapters in the book. There are three chapters, which are the most difficult chapters. One is this Law of Karma, Causation. Law of causation. What is the cause, what is the effect, what is happening, and all those things. The other one is the theory of perception. It's another difficulty. What is the difficulty there? Difficulty is what you see is not what it is. It is all the theory of perceptions. What is the theory of perception says is what you see is not what it is. Oh, if it is not what it is, then what is it? Is the next chapter, illusion. Then how do you account it? Then what it is really, next chapter, supreme reality. Too much of confusion. Finally he says, Tattvamasi. You are that supreme reality. Essence of Vedanta over. Without understanding anything. Yeah. So beautifully he organizes the ideas. The chapters were organized so nicely. Of that, these chapters are the most difficult one. Now when I say difficulty, See, the difficulty is not in the theoretical understanding. Mango seed will produce a mango tree. That problem none of us have. All of us will agree to that. Coconut seed will produce a coconut tree. You see, there's no problem. You see, the problem here is you will encounter very many consequences or experiences, effects that you will go through without knowing the cause. See, you go through the effects. You see, the problem is this. See, your whole life is revolving around this. Why do we call it as law of karma? Okay, very simple. Law of karma means law of action. Karma, Sanskrit word. If you translate that in English, it is called law of action. What is this law of action? Action means what? Action means action is the insignia of life. See, the signature of life is action. So therefore, law of karma means law of action. Law of action means laws of life. Your whole life is governed by this law of karana karya, of cause and effect. It is referred as law of karma. Everything, first thing you need to remember is this. Everything in your life is revolving around this law called law of karma. That's why the first topic he puts it as the supreme law. Because every other law is operating within this one law. All that is. Like in the world in India we have very many laws, no? Land Reformation Act, this act, that act, so many acts are there. All that revolves around one supreme constitution. Is the supreme law here. Same way, what is the constitution for the whole universe? He says it is the law of karma, law of cause and effect. The problem is, first you need to understand the difficulty in the chapter before you get in. Otherwise, you will never be able to go through the chapter appropriately, the way you are supposed to study. What is the problem with reference to law of karma? Immediately we all give the example. Coconut seed produces coconut tree, mango seed produces mango tree. There is no problem. The problem is, many times, there are times in life, in fact many times in life, you see a particular effect and you are not able to correlate a appropriate cause that affected this effect. You see, you cannot correlate. You go through an effect. You experience an effect. You see an effect. But you are not able to correlate. And the nature of mind is such that it will always search for a reason, a cause. It will not keep quiet. Okay. Point number one. Everything is governed by cause and effect. But many times, this is the second point. Second point is, many times in life, we will experience an effect, but we cannot connect it to the right cause. Then what happens? The mind cannot keep quiet. It cannot say, forget it, let's just go through the effect. No. It will immediately ask this question, what is the cause that has caused it? What is the cause of it? Why is it happening to me? What did I do? Right? That question comes to the mind. And when it comes to the mind starts searching for answer. On its own, it is not able to find an answer. Therefore, it starts the inquiry and starts reaching out to the many sources. Okay. Now problem starts. Right. Problem starts from here. First problem is, you go to an astrologer gives one reason. He says what? An astrologer says the grahas are not appropriate. That is why this is happening. Your horoscope is such that the position of the planets and all those things is the cause, says astrologer. For the same problem, you go to another person. He says the problem is with reference to the location where you have kept your bedroom in the house is in the wrong position, and your water tank is in the position where it is supposed to be Agni Mula. It should be in, what is that? Varuna, yes, for water. It should be there. That is the problem, he says. And then another man comes and says, look here, when did you visit your family deity? Do you know which is your family deity? We don't even know our family deity. Finished. Obviously, your family deity is so angry. It is the curse of your family, the anger of your family deity. Or they'll say, another person comes and says, your Pitrus are angry at you. So that dosha is there. Another person says, Naga dosha is there. You have killed a snake some time back. So what you have to do? Good. Now I can go on adding. Okay. You go to a doctor gives a different reason. See, another person says the chakras are not aligned in your body. See, another person. Now, if you go for the prana, the pranas are not functioning appropriately in your body, another person says. If you go carefully, each one of them give different reason for the same effect. Effect is what? Sir, I am miserable. My life is miserable for the last 5 years. You torture, sir. Thank God this corona came. Why? Because before that only I was suffering. Now, glad everybody is suffering. Like in those days, when power goes off in the house, first thing we will do is what? Run to the street. We'll run outside and see whole street gone. Appa. Whole street power goes off means we are all happy. Oh, not only me suffering, everybody suffering now. What is this? Each one gives one reason. Right? Now, if you were to be sitting and inquiring, if you are an inquirer, what you will be asking? Sir, how can that be? Different reasons. Right? Different reasons. And each one is giving reasons which is unconnected. You see, the fellow who is talking about my horoscope is not talking about my deity, anger of the deity. And that fellow is not talking about the chakras. And this person is not talking about the, he says the problem is certain chemicals are not working in your body anymore. They are not secreting. Therefore, the whole problem is because of that your thinking is disturbed, because of that you are taking wrong decisions, because of that your business is out. He gives. Same way this person gives his reason. He is not accepting that one. This fellow doesn't agree with this one. He doesn't agree with this one. How? If you have to escape, where will you go for correction? Which one, if you do, is a corrective measure? Because after all, your inquiry into the cause itself is only for what? Right? That's why none of us sit and inquire, sir, I am so happy for the last 5 years. Can you check my horoscope? Do you go? Huh? Sir, I think something wrong with my body. For the last 15 years, I never catch a cold or a stomach upset or fever. Nothing has happened to me. I think something wrong with my body. Can you check? You don't go to a doctor. See, when everything is all right. You probe and inquire only when you meet with misery. Nothing wrong in that. I'm not saying it is right or wrong and all those things. I'm only explaining why we do that inquiry itself is to correct the cause so that I can rectify the effect. The problem is only when I am not able to make a proper connection, my mind cannot digest that misery without attributing a cause. So what that mind will do? It starts postulating very many causes. It starts imagining the causes. It starts making imaginary reasons to account my current misery. You see the effect. When that effect is palatable to you, agreeable to you, you call it as what? Acceptable to you, you call it as lucky. Isn't it? You see the effect, you don't know the cause, but the effect is agreeable. You will immediately call that as what? Lucky. Same way, you go through an experience, you go through an effect which is not palatable, not agreeable to you, and you don't know the cause. What do? Bad luck. But the law of karma says what? Law of cause and effect says what? Everything in this world is revolving around a cause and an effect. There is no exception. That's why it is called a supreme law. There's no exception to it. Right? When you see the effect, it is a well-established principle. Cause and effect, law of cause and effect, causation is an established principle. It's not just a theorem. It is not just a theory, please. It is a principle. But in life, you will be placed where you know only the effect, you don't know the cause. And the mind will want to know the cause. It will start looking out. And all these people, whoever gives you a cause, in all that variation, if you think carefully, there is one undercurrent in all those causes. Astrologer gives one cause, Vastu Shastri gives one cause, doctor gives one cause, lawyer gives another cause. You go to Sigmund Freud, he will give one cause. Right? Why only these people? Here also each one gives their own reasons. He says all this is because of this, all this is because of that, all this is because of that. All those people give very many reasons for your unpalatable experience, unpalatable misery that you are going through. For that, what is the cause? When you see all that, you get totally confused. Fortunately, we don't probe. When you probe and inquire, you get confused. How can it be one effect, many causes, and no two causes are having any connection with each other? What is going on? Essentially, you agree to it. See, why? You agree to it because any externally caused, anything externalization of the cause relieves one thing, that is, you are not responsible. Now, for my misery, the problem is not me. The problem is who asked Guru Bhagavan to move from one position to another position. Can I stop him? Suddenly that fellow goes forward, suddenly he goes backwards. Go in one direction, no. Forward, backward. One direction you move, man. Am I responsible for his movement? No. Your birth time, is it in your decision? You say what, sir? It is not my decision. You see, so in that time, if these planetary positions were like that, who is the reason? That fellow who constructed the layout, those who give a layout have given a layout. They have to keep a site at a different positions. One side they keep in a position where there is a road comes. Immediately you say what? No. That is there also there is excuses. If the road hits from the east side, it is a great site. If the road comes from the north, another one. If the road comes and hits another one. Now, did I decide the layout? I didn't. I did not decide to buy the site. My father bought the site. Now, he has given that to me as though he thought he is doing a great favor to his son. Nothing of that. I am just giving example. Right. If my father were to be here, he will give one whack to me. You want that also to use it, he will say. Feeding you and bringing you up itself is a liability for me. On top of that, you want a land also, why you will ask? Now, that's, I am not responsible for it. Then who is responsible for that? Am I in control of the pranas? I am not in control of the pranas. Because pranas control me. I am not controlling them. See, so straight away, if the causes were to be posited on something external, straight away it gives a fantastic sense of relief. What? I am not responsible. Right? Now you read Law of Causation. Law of Causation says, no, you are responsible. You accept. You will never have a problem with the law of karma chapter. Remember, this law of causation chapter, you will not have a problem so long as it is not touching this part of it. The moment it touches this dimension where you cannot correlate the effect to the cause, the problem will be what? Your mind will pose it external. Thereby, it gets a sense of relief. It is not difficulty in the chapter. It is easy to talk about it. It is very easy to theorize this chapter of karma. It's all karma, sir. Very easy to talk, but very difficult to accept this law, because the moment you accept the law of causation, 100% responsibility is on your shoulders. You say, you. Vedanta says, wait. In that responsibility alone, it says there is a possibility for freedom. You see, if that responsibility is not on you, there is no probability or possibility of any freedom can be experienced in life. See, rest of my life I have to suffer. I can't escape. I can't escape from suffering. But the moment that responsibility is shifted onto my shoulders, the ego will not be able to accept it. Yes, no. It will say, no. The ego will say, no. I am not responsible. Why? Because once you have taken the responsibility, you can't blame anybody for whatever you are experiencing, whatever is going through, whatever you are going through in life. To your misery, you can't shift the responsibility to somebody else. Let's say the moment you come late, immediately you say what? Why are you late? The fellow says traffic jam. And you passed through that same route and you came to the office 10 minutes before. In 10 minutes, they had a traffic jam, is it? But he says what? Traffic jam. Because the moment I put the blame on the traffic, I am not answerable. Now, I am late because of who? Because of the traffic. Now, if you want to challenge, if you want to question, you go and question the traffic on the road, not me. So, I am not responsible. Straight away, the neighbor is the problem. Why are you having this problem? Wife, sir. Sure. Such a irritating wife. Okay, he said, I'm thinking of resigning. I'm thinking of quitting the job. I said, yeah, of course. What is my problem? I said, anyway, I'm not going to get the salary. I was not getting your salary. At least if you're, you go to office, I get the salary, I will be worried. Maybe what will happen to me? Right? Okay. Anyway, you are going to office, the company is paying you, you are getting the salary, what is my problem? Suddenly this man came, he said, sir, I'm thinking of quitting. I said, quit. He said, no, sir, you're not saying anything. I said, what do you want me to say? I said, what do you want me to say? See, you have been studying before I got an access to you. You only had told me that you have been studying Bhagavad Gita, Vivekananda, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Ramana, Ramatirtha, Upanishads, Vedanta, Siddhanta, this one, that one, all that you have been studying. What I am not able to understand is this one man can overpower all the wisdom that was transferred by those people to you. If he can overpower all of them, I said, I would like to meet that guy. I wanted to meet him because he seemed to be the most powerful man in the world, because the wisdom of Krishna he could overthrow, wisdom of Ramana he could overthrow, wisdom of Ramatirtha he could overthrow. The entire wisdom of Vedanta he can supersede and disturb you. Because Vedanta says what all these people keep telling you, what stress is internal, is what I have been teaching you. You have been studying that, you have known all those things. But if he or she can supersede that, then who is the most powerful person? Where you should go. But it is very easy for us to say that because of him, I am going through whatever I am going through. Because of her, because of that, I am going through whatever I am going through. One of my old colleague I met, he said, for 20 years I served. I said, that 20 years of your service to the selfless service, selfless karma that you have rendered can be disturbed by one person. Then who is more powerful? But theoretically, nobody will say, sir, 20 years of selfless service, what amount of power that person should be having? Theoretically, we say, but when you encounter, you say what? No. This person seems to, which means, which is true, that 20 years of selfless service, selfless karma, true, or this man causing you disturbance and you are experiencing the disturbance. That's why if you go one step further, what you will do? You will deny even the presence of disturbance. You see, other than the tamas, that nothing can be done. When you go through stress and you are not even acknowledging that you are going through stress, that means you are total delusion. Total delusion, no education possible. To a man of clarity, education is not required. Education is needed only to someone who is confused. He says, see, you should have, he is confused because since according to him, he has worked out 20 years, he has served sincerely. But now, this is gone completely. Now what happens? There is a confusion. What is the confusion? This is what Vedanta does. Law of karma says, look here, all these 20 years you claiming to have done selfless service is just imitation, not real. Your real face is what? Is totally different. You are just positing, you are only presenting a face, you are only imitating. See, you are only masking. And whoever helps you to put up another mask, another external one, if someone comes and gives a source, you will get sold out to that source. You will buy it immediately. You will buy that idea. See, that's how all these things thrive. Vedanta will not appeal to you. And the law of causation, law of karma will appear so cruel, so bad, so harsh. it is hitting you like. We love someone who pampers is you with one more false face. You go with it. Very easy for you. But the moment you start this churning, that's the significance of the churning of the ocean. When these devas and asuras wanting to get the amrita, immortality. See, amrita, when they want to get that nectar, they had to churn the ocean. When they started churning, what came out first is the poison. It's the poison that came. What is that poison? All your false faces that you have been presenting gets exposed. That is a false. That is a poison. I think poison, I don't think literally, somebody. That is why only Shiva could come and consume it. He could drink that poison. What does that mean? He could swallow. He had the capacity to face what? The unreal faces and take it in. See, that is a tapasvi. That is a spiritual man. A man who has the courage. You see, this presents it like that. It shows, it exposes that layer first. What is the first layer? First layer of your personality is going to be all the unreal faces. And the mind will quickly want to get back to its own shell. That's why all these fellows ran. The devas also ran, asuras also ran. Both of them ran, and they have ran and taken shelter. They have taken shelter under what? They have taken shelter under this idea, I am not responsible. You see, I am not responsible. So don't put me, don't make me responsible. That's why this knowledge of Vedanta, this knowledge of causation, this chapter makes you fearless. It makes you courageous. In that fearlessness, in that courage to face that reality, a freedom is promised. Liberation is promised. Otherwise, there is no liberation. External fear, external cause. When you externalize, there will be fear. Because imagine if the neighbor is responsible for my peace, what if I do? I can promise myself permanent peace. Impossible. You see, anything I do with him is not in my control. You see, law of causation puts the entire responsibility on you. Thereby, there is 100% possibility for correction. Otherwise, there is no 100% possibility. So, when you imagine a cause, when you externalize the cause, you are shifting the responsibility. And remember, shifting the responsibility, throwing away responsibility comes with a price. There is a price you got to pay for it. And your mind works always with this fundamental economics of life. Mind has its own economics. What is the economics of the mind? Same shirt, sir. Same thing. Same. Everything same. I purchased it from this shop and that shop. 1/10 of the price. Ella same, sir. Because always the imitation comes much cheaper than the original. And the imitation looks as effective, as good as the original. No difference. Everything will look same. Apparently same thing. But then, what you understand is what? You have thrown away something. You have lost something. It can never get the original. So when this responsibility can be taken away, there's a price tag. What is the price tag? Freedom is the price tag. Liberty is the price tag. You have to pay that price. When you are functioning, when you are acting, how does the freedom is gone here? The law says, law of karma doesn't operate on your words, what you talk, what lecture you give. Law of karma doesn't operate on that. Law of karma operates on what you do, because what you do is not governed by what you say. It is governed by what you understand. What is your understanding? See, what you are doing, it is the understanding that you have that drives action. That is why it is very easy for me to imitate Buddha, imitate Mahavira, imitate Christ also. A lot of people who do that, they also go through the same procedure. They also get beaten up because they have read what is that Christ is crucified. So what I am going to do? I will also go through the same procedure of what? They also put themselves on cross. They go through, literally, not just this one. They actually get it. They actually get themselves lashes and carry the cross and get themselves nailed into the cross. They go through all that, but nothing happens. No, Christ has emerged out of that. They just continue the same thing. See, that is one of the differences. Difference is what? It is very easy in action to imitate. I can also go and sit under that Bodhi tree on that same Purnima, full moon day. Whole night I can sit and meditate. I will do that meditation also. Not that I am not meditating, not that I am sleeping there. No, I meditate. But enlightenment doesn't happen. I don't become a Buddha there. Why? See, law of karma, law of action. When they say law of action, don't believe it is action. It is what? It is the understanding that is driving your action. And you pay the price for your understanding, not for the action. Remember, we all think, oh, karma means I've done this action, that's what I'm saying. No. It is what is your understanding behind it. The understanding with which Buddha sat under that Bodhi tree on that Purnima brought something. Something happened to him. When I am lacking that understanding, I can imitate all that he has done. I can even check what is the position he took. Padmasana. I will also sit in that same Padmasana. Same direction. He was facing towards northwest. I will also face toward northwest. I'm just saying I don't know. Okay, don't quote me. So did Buddha sat to northwest, sir? I didn't know this. No, that. That's not going to happen, you see. If you accept, the problem is in the deepest core, you believe what? In deepest core, you believe that 25,000 rupees that you are going to be spending to perform that puja can remove that curse. Huh? How weak that curse is. The dosha which is carrying forward for 4 janmas, it has been chasing you, and you are willing to buy in to that idea when a man says, give me 20,000 rupees, and then you start negotiating also with them, isn't it? We start negotiating with them. We say what? 25,000 looks little expensive. Don't worry. There's another person who will come and do. If I come, it is 25,000 rupees. If I send my assistant, it is 20,000 rupees. Means, can't you understand in that itself what is happening? But then we say what? Sir, I have a tremendous faith. Your faith is where? Your understanding says it is wealth. Your words say it is God. See, law of karma says what you believe the deepest is the reality. And you will be paying the price for that. See? And then you are responsible for it. We will say what? No. We will not agree to it. We'll say, because your belief is what? Wealth will save you, is what you believe. That's why you negotiate with that fellow. Isn't it? Here is what? First question you should ask is that. The ancestral curse. This is what I asked. I got really angry. Family deity is angry. I said, anger of family deity can be removed with 10,000 rupees, na? Huh? My anger is bigger than that, I said. Because you can't satisfy me with 10,000 rupees. I'll say, you want to pacify me, I will give one big list. Family deity seems to be much easier. Is this what it is? Then why are we connecting it to this now? Because we believe in that. Pay the price for it. Remember. But theoretically we will say what? Sir, ignorance is the problem of life. If ignorance is the problem of life, then what is the solution? Knowledge has to be the solution. Correct. But all of us will say what? We are willing to agree at the first step. First stage everybody accepts. What? Ignorance is the cause of suffering. But to remove that suffering, knowledge is not the remedy. Remedy is what? Vastu. Remedy is to change the spelling in the name. Remedy is to do this, do that. You can go on adding. Law of karma says, do whatever you want. Your misery will continue. After that, what happens? You try this is not working, you try that is not working, you try this is not working, and according to you, you are so sincere. Sir, sincerely I have tried everything, nothing works. Therefore, everything is fake. That is not what Vedanta says. Vedanta says they are not fake, you are fake. That we will not agree. Say, how dare you challenge that? You are wrong. We never accept knowledge as the solution. All of us are willing to accept ignorance is the problem. But solution doesn't lie in understanding, solution doesn't lie in this. That is why Vedanta goes on harping on this idea of gain this understanding, gain this knowledge, gain this knowledge, gain this knowledge. And then we say, sir, going on gaining knowledge, knowledge is not boring it is. Let's do something new. What to do? There's nothing to do. All that you have to do is what? Gain that understanding. What is understanding? I am responsible wholly. That's all. This is the difficulty in the chapter of Law of Causation. Ella easy. Rest are all be very easy. Rest are all very simple. As a law of karma, this, that, not a problem. The problem is law of karma is not operating at the level of action. It is at the level of understanding. For it is understanding that is grossifying into action. See? Therefore, any correction to be done, correction has to be done at the level of understanding. Therefore, you study the chapter. Okay? We'll see you in the next class.